So we're going to recap the sutras we've learned from the beginning. Atato Brahma Jigyasaha. Now we shall inquire into the Absolute. And we learned the verse from Sastra pertaining to that, which is that how to inquire into the Absolute Truth, we must approach the source of higher knowledge. Tad vidi pranipatina pariprasnena seva upadekshanti te jnanam tat jnaninas tatvadarshana. Approach the Tatvadarshi who knows this absolute truth. How should we approach that personality? With the sacrificial fireword of faith in our hands. Tad vigyanartham sa gurum eva bigachit samit pani shrotriyam brahmanishtam. That divine Sri Guru is brahmanishtam. He is himself completely absorbed in that absolute para Brahman and engaged in that loving service. Therefore, he is the source of that divine knowledge. And we heard about how there's different levels of gurus, and ultimately we are approaching the Gaudiya line. In the Gaudiya Sampradaya, we're very fortunate because our gurus, they are the source of divine knowledge even for God himself. Krishna himself performs Atato Brahma Jigyasa when he as Krishna wants to understand the glory of Srimati Radhika's love. Shiradhaya Pranayama Hima Kidriso Vanayaiva. Then he appears as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and takes shelter of the gurus in our line, Raya Ramananda. And he learns from him what is the glory of Srimati Radhika's love. So even Krishna performs, even of the different levels, there's Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. And in Bhagavan, there's Dwarkadish, there's Lord Ram. Ultimately, the highest Bhagavan is Aradhya Bhagavan Brajesa Tanayas. That's Sri Krishna in Braj, the son of the king of Braj, Nanda. He is the topmost feature of Bhagavan. And yet, he himself cannot understand the glory of his beloved's love at the stage of Prem Vilas Vivarta. When he sees Radhika's love is immeasurably superior to his own, that when she falls senseless, even while in his lap, feeling separation, hearing that Madhusudan has gone, the bumblebee is gone. At that time, Krishna becomes bewildered and thinks, what is the nature of my Srimati Radhika's love? Shiradhaya Pranaya Mahima. Then he becomes Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and inquires, Jigyasa, what is the nature of my Radhika's love? And that's why he says to Raya Ramananda, what is Sadhya Sadhan? What is the ultimate goal and how to achieve it? So this quest of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to understand the ultimate goal parallels the actual quest of the journey of the soul in Vedanta Sutra. Because it starts with inquiry into the absolute, the true nature of the self, the true goal of the self, jigyasaha. So Krishna even himself performs that. So when we are approaching Guru, tad vigyanartham sa guru meva bigachit, we are approaching Guru in that line. They are the teachers of Krishna himself. Srila Govinda Maharaj would say that Krishna himself enters the schools of the gopis and learns how to weep and cry. Ek bar dekle chakshe jal, gor nitai bole, dena sakale sambal. Shraddhavan jana he, shraddhavana jan. So that's why Srila Govinda Maharaj would say we are in the crying school. So Krishna himself entered this school as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and for 18 years he studied in this postgraduate school of the gopis in the Gambhira. So we are very fortunate that we are hearing the Govinda Bhashya commentary that is further sweetened, like we say in the Bhagavatam, Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam sukamukara mrita drava samyutam. This Govinda Bhashya is already very sweet because it's composed by Govinda Dev himself through the muse, through the divine inspiration given to Baladev Vijabhushan. And Gurudev himself is further sweetened that, and the Vaishnavas is further sweetened that. So we are relishing that fruit of the Nigamas that has been further sweetened by the teachings of our Guru Varga in this line, who themselves are the teachers of Sri Bhagavan. So that's very special. Then the question is raised, what is that absolute truth? Is it the individual soul? Now we're just an illusion. When we get rid of the layers of illusion, we'll realize I am myself in that absolute truth. Is that the Brahman? So the argument is raised, the Purva Paksha is raised. And to that, Vyasadeva responds, no. Janma dasya yataha. The ultimate source, the prime mover, the creator of all creation. He who is also removed from the creation, even though he is the creator, like the Bhagavad Gita says, he is the thread on which all the pearls are strung, and yet he is removed. He is present in his own svadham. That's why in that first verse of the Bhagavatam it says, Damna svena sada. Even though tejo mari mridam yata vinimayo, even though the manifestations of this world through the three gunas, the three modes of nature, are appearing factual, even though they are amrisha. They are appearing factual, even though they are illusory, meaning that our sense of identity in connection with that illusory nature is false. But even though Krishna is creating all that, and it's all manifesting from him, he is the source of it all. All these planetary systems are described to be Krishna's vyahritis, manifestations of him, Om Bur, Om Bhuva, Om Sva, Om Jana, Om Tapa. They have divine connection coming from that divine source, and yet Krishna is removed. Damna svena sada nirastakukam satyam padam dhimahi. We meditate on that absolute truth, who is beyond the mundane existence. So he is that Brahman that we are inquiring into. Janma dasya yataha. Now we went further. From that point, the question is raised, what is the best way to know that Janma dasya yata, that origin of all existence? What is the best way to know it? Is it through logic and discussion, reasoning, deductive, inductive reasoning? And then we learned about two forms of knowledge. Paroksha gyan, aparoksha gyan. Paroksha gyan is that which is gathered through the sources beyond your own sense perception, meaning through logic and reason, through intelligence and deductive reasoning or inductive reasoning, and then through the sources of scripture or revelation. So those are the two types of paroksha gyan. Whether you're talking about academic or scholarly literature in this world, it's pertaining to Maya, or whether you're talking about literature pertaining to the absolute truth, aparoksha gyan is knowledge perceived directly by the senses. Pratyaksha, knowledge perceived directly by the senses, is called aparoksha gyan. So paroksha gyan is sastra, which leads us to aparoksha gyan, which is direct revelation, direct perception of the Supreme Lord himself. And that's why we talked about the story of Dhruva, that Dhruva heard about the Lord through paroksha gyan, knowledge from authority. His mother, the first authority, his mother is the first guru. His mother taught him, Suniti, and then Narad Rishi, his guru. So Guru is the father, and then Gayatri and Sastra is the mother. Through that, he performed sadhana to achieve aparoksha gyan. So the real goal of our spiritual practice is aparoksha gyan. We want to see the Lord with our own eyes. But the method to do that is bhakti yoga. That's why in the Brahma Samhita it says, Premanjana charita bhakti vilochanena. When your eyes are anointed with the salve of love through the process of bhakti, vilochanena. Lochana means vision. So you can see the Lord through the vision of bhakti. When you have become purified through bhakti, cheto darpana marjanam, then your heart is cleansed of all impurities of anarthas. Then your eyes are anointed with the salve of love, and you can have darshan of that Lord. So our goal is not theoretical knowledge. Our goal is practical relationship and darshan of that sweet Madhurya Mai Sri Krishna and Srimati Radhika and Braj. So that's why the two kinds of knowledge, they are interrelated. Paroksha gyan leads us to aparoksha gyan. So Vyasadeva himself is saying, Gautama, some of his disciples, they say, no, logic is the best means. But Mahaprabhu said in his earlier pastimes, Mahaprabhu was a logician. He was the king, he defeated all the logicians in India. He defeated Keshav Kashmiri, who himself was Digvijay Pandit. But then Mahaprabhu gave it up as soon as he went to Gaya and received the Gopal mantra. Then he became initiated into the method of aparoksha gyan. And he said, Kiba mantra dila, kibi tara bal, japi de japi, manar pagal. Mahaprabhu said, what mantra have you given me, Goshai, Ishwar Puri? I have chanted and chanted this and I've become mad. And then when the Mayavad sannyasis were asking him, oh Mahaprabhu, why aren't you studying Sastra? Why are you only chanting and dancing in ecstasy? And he said, my Gurudev told me, Murka tumi tomar nahi ka Vedanta adhikar. Only chant this mantra, and through this mantra you will achieve divine prem. So then Mahaprabhu established the fact that this japa sadhana in kirtaneva sadahari, that is the ultimate method in Kali Yuga. The Mayavadis, they spend years and years and years studying the Upanishads. But Sankaracharya himself says that Murka, he says that in this verse, he says, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Munamate, O fools! Worship Govinda, worship Govinda, worship Govinda. Samprapya sanidali kale. At the time of death, all of your logic will not save you. That's why Mahaprabhu said, Natarka pradishtana. The absolute truth is not established by tarka, logic and argument. So therefore, Vyasadeva, in the next sutra, I'm mentioning again that we always end up being late, and so we have to rush a bit. But anyway, we're trying to go double speed because we're trying to get to the topic. So Vyasadeva himself says, Vyasadeva himself, I wanted to do this anyway even before Rup came. Vyasadeva himself says, when Gautama, his disciple, said, no, logic is the best means. But Vyasadeva, in the next sutra, he says, Sastra yonidvat. Sastra is the real source of divine knowledge. And that's why we talked about the soul being born, Janma Dasyata, from its seed-like state, it sprouts, Brahmanda Brahmite Kon Bhagavana Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Bhakti Lada Beach. And then we enter in the womb of Sastra. And that's where we can get true spiritual birth. At that time, we can germinate and ultimately blossom into our true full self-consciousness.